So Kenyatta Watson is actually a guy that Florida State and some FSU fans were wanting all along, like really before even Bartow was hired, which, looking back at Ryan Bartow since his time at Florida State has been very successful, really successful on the recruiting front, definitely in the Florida State. And so that was kind of someone that, they were like, maybe should they have gone Watson over Bartow? Which one do you pick? End up going Bartow, working out very well. And then out of nowhere, Mike Norvell throws a bomb yesterday and says, hey, why don't you just get both of them? And so now you're going up into the Georgia region. He's had a lot of experience up there, definitely in the Atlanta area. But Georgia overall, this is going to be huge for recruiting there. The momentum just continues there. He's got a lot of past relationships. He's there at these tournaments. He's able to be in person with them. And he's got a lot of experience. He played at Boston College. He played a little bit in the NFL. This is a former player. He's coming in. He's going to be side by side with Ryan Bartow. That is a nasty tandem there for building your recruiting momentum and your relationships, trying to get those pipelines back down there in Florida, along with now Georgia. This is something that you've been wanting to have, Jason, trying to get these Southeast recruits really, get that pipeline back, start working these certain areas that have been dry since Jimbo left, try to build these relationships back and, bringing in Watson, who has had this past experience, is going to be huge for Florida State and recruiting in that Georgia region.
Well, not just the Georgia region, and obviously we've talked about in the past how the South Florida region dried up even before Jimbo left, even before he abandoned ship, how everything started to get abandoned. Watson, obviously, he's a Deerfield Beach native from Broward County, so I think that's another huge move is that he knows South Florida. I think this will start to make a push, and I hope it does. And I really do want this to be the next push of Norvell to get back into South Florida. You talk about the Atlanta area, the Georgia area, that's important. Has to get South Florida. Bartow was big on recruiting South Florida. Watson can come in. He knows the area. He knows Broward County. He knows Miami-Dade County. He knows Palm Beach County. If you can get those areas, I've said it before, I'll say it again until Mark's eyes roll in the back of his head. South Florida recruiting is better than everyone else. So get down here, get your recruits, 305-954-561.
Okay, let me clarify. I never said that South Florida football wasn't better than anywhere. I have an issue with it being described as being underrated or misevaluated. There's a difference there.
No, I've never said it's underrated. I said it's the best. Don't get it.
I know you've said it's the best. But the conversation we had a few weeks ago, and you were included in the conversation, as I understood from Nate, was he thought that it was underrated, meaning that it was being undervalued by the recruiting rankings.
I think there's a growing consensus, and I will say this, and we've talked about this a little bit in previous shows. I think that's the area that Florida State, if you look back, there's a correlation between the last half decade of the lost half decade, 2006 through 2009, when Florida State started recruiting not so much the state of Florida, but going outside, going to other places. You saw that also with Jimbo. Jimbo went from recruiting Florida, his assistants recruiting the state of Florida at the start of his era, to after the national title team, becoming more of a national product and starting to ignore South Florida. You have to get, and not just South Florida, Logan will agree with me on this one. It's also Orlando. It's also Tampa. It's also Jacksonville. You have to recruit the hotbeds in the state of Florida. Because if you can't even get top recruits in your own state, how are you going to get the top recruit in Ohio? How are you going to get the top recruits from Texas or Louisiana? That's why you need to focus on South Florida. And we have some breaking news. This is what happens with MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. You get breaking news.